Everyone, I got 3 times here again. Very tired today, very exhausted because I have a long day tomorrow. Because tomorrow I'm going back on a plane. Yeah! I'm doing charity work for a friend in another country. I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks. Yikes. Phone service, I don't know. It's iffy. Internet connection, it exists, but it's like it takes like 2 hours to load a video. And yeah, very, very bad circumstances. So we're gonna see what happens. I will not get to see Money in the Bank. At least I don't think so. I'm gonna try Sunday night. I'm gonna try to see if I could at least watch the main event. If I can at least do that, I want to see the whole pay-per-view because I am excited for the Money in the Bank matches. I do think people don't realize that the outcome of the Money in the Bank matches could very severely outcome the main event. So that's why I'm looking forward to both those matches. Looking forward to new talent as always. You know, WWE recently said that they have the mentality that if you win the Money in the Bank, you have to win the world title. Now, unless it's someone who they would want to bury, like a Daniel Bryan, like a guy like Sheamus, who they've had problems with, I could totally understand them taking a guy like that and having them lose. But basically, you know, it's a lot. It's still pretty significant if someone besides those two wins, because pretty much guarantees you're gonna win the title, unless they want to use someone as fodder feeder for CM Punk to beat. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. So yeah, right now, I don't know. I really don't have a time for this video. I just kind of have a lot to say. I don't know. It's just going to be Bigrat talks stuff. Maybe in parentheses, I'll write a few things. First order of business. I'm officially a YouTube partner. Um, I didn't exactly get the word that said partnership. I just got an email that says you have an invitation to monetize your account. I followed the steps, and now it says I can enable every single video I've ever done for revenue sharing since April of 2009. Yeah, so I mean, I haven't tried. I went to partnership to see if I could still apply. I still could. I don't know. I didn't fill out the application and send it. Maybe if I did that, something would be different. But all I know is right now I don't have a time limit and I can do revenue sharing on every single video. To me, I don't give a shit. That's all I need. Um, I know a lot of you have been wondering. A partnership really isn't that big of a deal nowadays. Now that we don't have a YouTube time limit anymore, people really don't care about partnerships anymore. But I still did care. You know, maybe it's from a marketing standpoint, but I want to gain as much of a following as possible. I'm not trying to say that like, oh, I want to beat Spitter netting it. No, I don't want to do that. It's just, I really like doing this, and I really like your guys' feedback. And I always like to get more feedback, more comments. That's why I do videos like the video I just did. I got a lot of feedback on that video immediately. I don't think it's like the most commented video I ever had. I don't think it's even close. But all the comments I got within like a few hours of the video. And that's amazing. That's what I want to do on here. I want to stimulate more discussions. That's what I like to do. And I like getting more people because I like doing that as much as possible. So that is why, I did still want to do this. This is why I applied every 2 months and got rejected and rejected and rejected, because I had that one fucking community guideline strike on my account because some guy marked one of my comments as spam. And when you do that, it's an account strike, which is bullshit. And it expires after 6 months. So after 6 months, I had to basically wait for 6 months. Kept getting rejected. I still applied, but I basically had to wait 6 months. And once 6 months were up, I guess I'm done now. And they gave me the partnership, or whatever this is. But whatever, I can revenue sharing all my videos. Thank you guys. I've been doing this stuff since, January of 2009. Most of you do not know this. I'm gonna do this. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna also give you like a little bit of a history for me on YouTube. Back in January of 2009, back in 2008, I was very frustrated with the WWE. It's the only wrestling I'd ever seen, and I really was starting to get upset with the product. It just wasn't for me as much as it used to be. And so what I would do is I would be frustrated with WWE. I would. It would get me upset. And TNA would get me even more upset, to the point where, remember, I had already quit on TNA, and then I came back because Christian was in the main event. And then once Christian left the main event, I kept watching, but still wasn't as into it. And it was like in the summer. I was just really down. I was just like, oh, God, man, wrestling really is no good. And for TNA, hard Hard Justice 2008. I missed the pay-per-view. And usually what I would do, because I didn't watch TNA pay-per-views, I would just, from TNA's own website, which is a mistake, I know, I would just read the results, which is no good, because I remember in 2007, for Against the Law 2007, I missed the pay-per-view, and Abyss and Judas Macias had Barbed Wire Massacre 2. And I was reading the results online, and they put this match to be like this most barbaric thing ever. Like I read the report that TNA posted on the website, and I was like, oh my god, that match must be incredible. That match must be brutal. It might be even better than the first Barbed Wire Massacre. And then when I finally saw it on DVD, I was like, oh my god, that match was horrible. I was so disappointed. And so I still did it because I had no other means. Like I was so blind to the internet that I had no other means of knowing. So I just, for Hard Justice 2008, I don't know what it was that compelled me to do it, but I don't know. I cannot tell you to this day why I did it. But I went to YouTube and I typed in Hard Justice 2008 review to see if I can get a review faster than like Amazon, which is where I got my reviews from, where people like posted reviews of the show. If I can get my reviews faster than that. So I did that, and I saw this one kind of short black guy who like held a paper in front of his hands. I still don't know his name to this day. Maybe if I looked up I'm gonna try it right now. Actually, I'm gonna try to see if I can look up the video. He held up a piece of paper and he just started basically talking about the pay-per-view, and then he was basically saying about timing of the pay-per-view. He didn't really say how good or great the matches were. I think he specifically mentioned the AJ Styles Kurt Angle last man standing match was awesome. But I'm just watching this and I'm like, you know what? This is a great place to get feedback. This is a great place to get feedback for pay-per-views. So if you guys wonder why I take my pay-per-view, why I always make sure to review every WWE TNA pay-per-view, it's because I started on here because of people giving feedback to a pay-per-view, and I like that. So, he did it. He reviewed that pay-per-view, and then I thought, you know what? I could keep doing this. And so every month for WWE and TNA, I would still go to Amazon, but I would go to YouTube. I had no idea what star ratings were, but I would go to YouTube and I would just I would just read up on people's pay-per-view reviews. Like I said, the star ratings to me, like it didn't make sense to me. I just didn't understand what they were. And, I was just watching, reading the overall scores. The overall scores were important. I did recognize that. And eventually, I started liking guys like Armin, who you guys know is the first guy I ever really started watching, Armin10701. I didn't know how to subscribe, so I was, even though there's a big button that says subscribe, I didn't want to press it. I was like 13, no, 13, I don't know. But so I clicked, I would go to Armin's channel and I would just look for the videos when he uploaded more. And every pay-per-view, he would upload more and more. And then I also found ROH Styles. And then I found Instant Classic 8. Then I found... there's another guy. ROH Styles, A-Stone. I found A-Stone. And I would just watch these four guys, really, for the rest of 2008. And then in 2009... ROH Styles was doing this plug video, and he plugged two guys, Coffee Ninja B8 and Radius 2X. And I found both of their stuff to be very entertaining. And after I saw, and I had also found Trademark in December. Trademark, one of my very, very good friends on here. The first real good friend I ever made on here. I found him, and I saw him, and I saw Radius, and I saw Coffee Ninja, and I saw ROH Styles, and I saw A-Stone, and I saw Armin, and I saw Brandon. It's the Classic 8. And I just thought to myself, I could do this. Now, I didn't mean that in a disrespectful tone, like, these guys suck, I'm better. I just meant to, like, these guys can do it. Let me give this a shot. January 14th, 2009. I don't know if that's confirmed. I just have a really sick memory like that. I think it was somewhere around there. I uploaded my first video. I was very nervous. I was very young. Very young. I really wasn't mature yet. Really my maturity level didn't really hit until, like, I would say early middle last year. in all of my 2009 videos. I mean, I look back at them and I'm kind of a little embarrassed, to be honest. I looked at them and I'm like, oh God, really? I said this stuff? Oh my God, I look like such a kid. Oh my God, I was so energetic in launching up my 3. And I just look at them like, oh God, what is this shit? What is this shit? That's why, as Nightmare Baller will say, as Insta Classic 8 will say, as CDU9590 will say, not really True Slayer, but those 3 guys that I just mentioned, if you see them in the videos, they sometimes refer to me as the Kid. Nightmare Baller 1 in his Best of the World review actually used that term, the Kid. That's what they called me back in 2009, and it stayed that way. I don't get another name. They don't call me by Bigrat. They don't call me by my first name. They just say the Kid. That's what they call me by. And so, you know, I got that reputation because of how I acted in 2009. And like I said, I'm not proud of it, but I'm not going to delete my videos either. That's who I was. That's who I am. Like, how do I say this? I was a little embarrassed, but I'm not ashamed. Like, I'm not going to take them down. No, that's how I acted. Sure, did I know how to act in front of the camera back then? Not really. But you know what? I don't care. I'm not going to delete those videos. I had a lot of fun doing them. A lot of fun. I made videos back then like twice a day, every day. I was so devoted. I still love it now. But as you see, my video rate isn't the same. And so in 2009, you know, I just started making videos. And my very first video, people still tease me about this to this day. In late 2008, I was watching the Ring of Honor video wires. And I asked a guy on Skype, how do you watch Ring of Honor? And he said, you watch their pay-per-views, you buy their DVDs. I said, when do they have their pay-per-views? Once every 4 months. Do they have a TV show? No. Well, how do you keep up? You buy the DVDs. And this was just such a foreign concept to me. Like, my brain couldn't process this. You buy DVDs to keep up with storylines? What is this? Like, I was so, like, shocked. I just couldn't believe it. Like, how do you follow something like this just buying DVDs? It was really like a shock. And I go to the Ring of Honor website, and after I saw the first HDNet show on March 19th, again, I'm weird like that, I'm sorry. March 19th, 2009, or March 27th, 2009, I don't know. I think it was March 19th. I saw the Ring of Honor. I remember all 4 matches. I think it was Brent Albright versus Rhett Titus or Brent Albright versus Grizzly Redwood. It was a squash match, but Brent Albright versus someone, which was the 3rd match. The first match was Jerry Lynn versus Delirious. The second match was Kenny King versus Sami Callihan, and the main event was Tyler Black versus Jimmy Jacobs. Kenny King versus Sami Callihan, because I never seen any style outside the WWE and TNA style. I saw that match and I was just like, wow! That was amazing! You watch that video of my first Ring of Honor and HDNet episode 1 review, I go crazy for that match. I say, that match was so awesome! And in fact, months later, when I was listing my top 10 matches of the year, I included that match. Now, I'm pretty sure if I were going to go watch that match now, I'd probably say 2.5 stars. But when I first saw it, I was just like, wow, that was mind-blowingly amazing. Who are these guys? I need to see these guys. I was going crazy. And so that started my love for Ring of Honor. So that's started from there. My first 3 shows that I purchased were the first 3 pay-per-views they ever did. Respect Is Earned 2007, Driven 2007, and Man Up 2007. And after that, I saw Joe vs. Punk 2, which everybody sees when they get into Ring of Honor. Joe vs. Kabashi, Supercard of Honor 1, the 3 5-star matches rated from Ring of Honor by Dave Meltzer. I was asking Instant Classic 8 for recommendations. I also threw in Good Times, Great Memories. I also threw in Supercard of Honor 2 and Supercard of Honor 3. And after seeing all that stuff, I was just like in love. I knew it from then on. That year I had my confirmation, which for you Catholic people know that it is the same thing as a bar mitzvah, except you get nowhere near amount of money. I got like $1,300. And for those that do not know, I really don't spend a lot of money in my real life. I really don't. What I love to do with my friends most, we play basketball all the time. We walk around the movies, walk around the mall. We hang out. We do what kids with my age do. And I really don't spend a lot of money. So that $1,200 that I got when I was 2009, I just spend them on Ring of Honor DVDs. That's how I got so many fucking DVDs that year. That's how I just went crazy and got had to be 150, 200 that year. I waited for all the sales. If you go back to my Black Friday video from 2009 and you look in the description box, you see like 50 goddamn DVDs that I got for 50% off. And so yeah, I just was going crazy. I was addicted. I couldn't stop. It really, I mean, I was watching PWG by this point, and I was watching Dragon Gate USA, the Dragon Gate USA pay-per-views, but I really didn't like become the indie crazed addict. I didn't even fall in love with Chikara until the BDK angle, and then I fell in love, as you all know, and that is my favorite promotion. As much as I love Ring of Honor, I mean, I flew to New York to see Ring of Honor. I didn't fly to New York to see Chikara, but for me, I blame that more on because the Ring of Honor live experience, everyone brags about how incredible that is. The Chikara live experience, people say it's great, but I've also heard people say that and the DVD is very similar. It's not like in Ring of Honor where the energy is something completely different than the energy you get on the DVD. And but yeah, so I fell in love with indie wrestling, and now I'm here doing what I do. I make videos, I talk, you guys listen. It works. We work. And after 2 years, I became a partner. I hit 2,000 subs. Let's talk a little bit more. My name, Bigrat 310. People always ask me how I got that name. It's quite simple. When I was young, I've touched on this before. When I was really young, my family were big. We were all big wrestling fans. Then by 2006, 2007, they abandoned me, and I stayed. And then 2008, I was really upset with wrestling and about to quit until YouTube saved my life, my wrestling. But so we were young. We all loved wrestling. And actually, my brothers were into wrestling before I was. They were into wrestling for months, and I didn't bother to get into it. They got me into it. And then, ironically, I stayed and they left. So when we were kids, we always did our own storylines in around 2002, 2003. Our own storylines, our own pay-per-view main events. Between me, I have three brothers, and me and two of them, we had feuds. My older brother was the Bear. We like to name it after animals. My younger brother was the Wolf, and I was the Rat. And so, you know, we'd have like main event Rat versus Wolf, Rat versus Bear, Bear versus Wolf, Bear versus Rat versus Wolf. We'd have our own storylines. It'd be great. We do them all the time. And as you all know, those who've seen me in person, I'm not a small person. I'm not skinny. You all know that. Hell, my fucking Puro video, I got 1 million comments saying how I need to lose weight, which I do appreciate, actually. But believe it or not, I actually weigh less now than I have in like 7 months. I know it's hard to tell, but it's true. And I'm also, even though no one believes it, I'm 6'1". I tell people this. And then people meet me and they say, oh my God, you're so tall. And I'm like, well, I told you I was 6'1". I've been saying it. I am 6'1". I am a tall person. I know it doesn't look like it because generally the video focuses on my head and shoulders, but I am 6'1". I am a tall guy, all right? So when you meet me, I am tall. So because I'm not a small person, over time, my older brother, who's just as tall as I am, he was called Big Bear, and I was called Big Rat. 310, my birthday's March 10th. Big Rat 310. So miraculous, right? So yeah, that's my YouTube username. I use it for everything. Well, not for everything. I have an email address with it, but I have another email address with a completely different name, and I use that one a little more. I don't use this email address for school, trust me. What else? Yeah, it's my history. You guys have heard it before. It's probably boring to those of you who've been subscribed to me from January of 2009. They've probably been like, I hear this shit like every 6 months. Well, for the subscriber who subscribed to me yesterday, he probably never heard this story. So there you go. A few my own perspectives on YouTube. What else? For YouTube. 1, this is my advice. Please stop sending me personal messages with widespread to check out your video. Now, there's difference. There are people who just send it to me and say, hey, check out my video, give me advice. And I have a lot of them, and I'm so sorry I haven't gotten to it yet. My inbox is a mess. I try to go through it as much as I can. My life is, it's crazy right now during the summer. But I always try to watch the video and give my feedback, because that guy generally wants to know how I feel about him. But when I get the guy who sends me the video, and then I look and he sent it to like 50 other people, come on. You don't want my opinion. You're just trying to market yourself. I applaud you for doing that. That's smart, but I'm not going to watch the video. I'm sorry. If that one guy sends it to me, all right, maybe. But you're sending it to freaking 50 people. Come on. And now that I said that, the people that were going to send it to 50 people are going to send it to 49, and then they're going to send it to me, and they're going to make me think that I really care. But no, I'll check it. I try my best to help you guys out. When you ask me to plug you, I won't do it. I'm sorry. Let me say this. When I started, I was not like MB Wrestler. MB Wrestler made a video saying, I never asked anybody to plug me. I got myself over and I did this and that. I did ask people to plug me all the time. I asked Coffee Ninja B8 to plug me, and he did. He was the first person to ever plug me when I had like 1 subscriber. And I really thank him for that. I asked Insta Classic 8 to plug me, and he basically said, I don't do that shit. I've asked other people, but they said, we don't do that. Which is right. You don't ask for it. It makes you look bad. But I understand why you're doing it, and I totally get it. I was like you. I wanted to market myself. I just asked people to plug me. I totally understand, but I'm just letting you know I won't do it. You can't just ask me to do it. If you ask me to watch your video and give me feedback and help, I'll do that, because the A-Stone at 08 did that for me. And I also never forgot that. When I first got on here, I had no idea what to do, and I talked to A-Stone, what do I do? Help me out here. And he told me, here's how you make a video. Here's Skype, get on it, talk to people. He was very helpful in that regard. So if you ask me, I will help you. But if you ask me to basically put a link to your channel, I'm not going to do that. Come on, we all need to work on our own to get ourselves over. Now, I understand we need to help each other. I try to plug people as often as I can. I don't do it as good as I once did. I used to plug people every video, but now not so much. I still try to whenever I get new accounts that not a lot of people are subscribed to. I'm not going to plug TrueSlayer because everybody who's subscribed to me is probably subscribed to TrueSlayer. I'm not going to plug like Trademark because once again, everyone who's subscribed to me is probably already subscribed to him. I would like to plug people, of a lesser extent, but at the same time, I'm not going to plug, and I love this man. This man knows that I love him. I'm not going to plug Sabu TNA forever because he has a great enough exposure already. I would need to help some of the smaller guys, quote unquote. And so yeah, that's just my advice to you. And my actual name. I know some people have been wondering this for a long time. My name's Rick. All right, there you go. You got it. I know the curtain has been revealed that a lot of you didn't know. But the thing is, no one calls me Rick or Ricky or any other variations that people say. No one calls me that. No one calls me that here in Miami. No one calls me that when I meet them outside of YouTube. No one calls me that on Skype. Not even my parents call me that. So to me, it's just kind of weird. Like, I don't know. I hear the name and I'm just like, all right, that's kind of strange. So that's why I really don't tell people to call me that. It's not because I don't want you to know my first name. It's just no one calls me that. No one. Everyone calls me Bigrat in this place. And I like it that way. Or the kid. Either one of the two. Now, what my parents call me, what my friends call me, they're different names, actually. I'm called many different names, so I wouldn't be able to tell you just one. Bigrat, actually, probably the most people call me because, of my 2,000 subscribers and a lot of people on Skype. So, there you go. Oh, yes, I do live in Miami. You all knew that. I went to Here, I'll tell you shows that I went to that you guys probably didn't know about. Armageddon 2002, when Kurt Angle beat Brock Lesnar for the title. A SmackDown house show in 2003, which was phenomenal. Phenomenal. A Raw in 2003 where Goldberg speared Rosie through the barricade, where Mick Foley made his return to the WWE after 13 months. 2004, 2005. I went to the 2006 Royal Rumble where Rey Mysterio won, which was a terrible show, but Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble, which was cool. I went to WrestleMania 24, which was awesome. I went to a SmackDown taping last year in 2009, right in the middle of the Punk Hardy feud, which was tremendous. I went to the Raw where the Nexus angle, where that had the Nexus angle, where Nexus came out and beat down John Cena and CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan got fired because of it. I was there for that. That was fucking awesome. I was at Survivor Series. I was at Final Battle. I was at Best in the World, and just recently I was at The Rock's birthday. So yeah, that's my live show resume. And all right, that's it for my history on YouTube. I still have a lot of other stuff to talk about. Q&A. I haven't done a Q&A in a goddamn long-ass time. And that used to be what I did. One of the reasons I got on YouTube was to start doing Q&A videos. and I want to get back to it. I know Honor Hammer is kind of like taking the reins as the Q&A guy, and he's really, really awesome at it. So I'm gonna try to do something that I don't normally do, which is cut out questions, and I hate to do it. I've done several Q&A videos where I get so many questions, and a lot of the questions are, what's your dream WrestleMania card? Who's your favorite wrestler? What's your favorite match? And those questions aren't bad, but I've answered them before, and I just get them all the time. So I'm afraid I'm going to take the best questions that I get. I'm probably going to take a bunch, narrow it down to a certain amount. Or what I'll probably do is I'll take the questions, I'll organize them from best to worst, and I'll do a video and see how many questions I can get done in 20 minutes. That's what I'll probably do. And so, because I can't answer all these questions anymore. I don't like doing them. I'm sitting in front of the camera for like 75 minutes as I do a 3-part Q&A. I upload part 1, part 2, part 3. No one watches all 3 parts. It's a pain. I'm better off just doing one video, 20 minutes, and the best questions, get great stuff. So that's what I want from you guys. Send the Q&A, put them in the comments. I always tell people to message them to me, and people always forget. No one messages. I told them, do not put your question in the comments. Do not put your question in the comments. And I get the questions in the comments. You know what? Putting the questions in the comments easier. Put your question in the comment. Go ahead. Just do it. Harry Potter series. My comments on the Harry Potter series. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, for those who not know. Harry Potter was my childhood. Harry Potter was the first book I ever read. My mom would read Harry Potter to me and my brothers like when I was 5, before I even knew how to read, or 4, or whatever. So this series was very important to me. I just finished the last movie. I saw it twice. I saw a midnight premiere with a bunch of friends, and I saw it today with my mother and my brother for old time's sake. And the movie was tremendous. In my opinion, it's the best movie. There are some problems. I have some problems with it. Dumbledore's brother, Aberforth. There's a great story in the book on how Aberforth and Dumbledore had a big dissension. How Dumbledore like accidentally killed their sister, or their mother got hurt, and it's just a great story. And they really didn't even mention it. You really don't even know why Aberforth and Dumbledore don't like each other. It's like the movie expects you to have read the book, and that's why you understand. So I'm upset about that. Also, this one's kind of a big deal to me. Lupin and Tonks, as you both know, or for those who haven't seen the movie yet, spoiler alert, skip ahead for the next 10 seconds. Lupin and Tonks die, and their baby, Harry adopts as his own. And in the movie, you see Harry's son and Lupin and Tonks' son, and Harry's daughter, which looks a lot like Ginny. And Harry's son looks a lot like Harry. And the other guy is Lupin and Tonks' son. And they don't mention that. They don't mention that Harry adopted Lupin and Tonks' son as one of his own. That bothered me a lot. They show him, but they could have mentioned that that's why. But other than that, I thought both Deathly Hallows were very consistent with the book. So proud of it. Excellent movie, in my opinion. Probably my favorite one, I'm not gonna lie. It's the most entertaining, that's for sure, because it's 2 hours of straight heart-pumping action. That's why the movie's so great. So yeah, definitely check out Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows. Check out the books. The books are amazing. The 5th book is like my second favorite book, but the actual movie is like my least favorite or my second least favorite, because the book was so goddamn long. I believe the book was the longest one, even longer than the 7th one, which they made into 2 movies. The book was so long they cut out a lot of details, and that is a problem. Also, 2 of the problems I have with the whole series of the movies: the Quidditch. If you read the 5th and 6th books, Quidditch is a big freaking deal, like a big deal in Ron's life at Hogwarts. It's very, very big, Ron playing Quidditch, and they don't even mention it at all in the 5th or 6th book. In the 5th or 6th movie, they don't even mention the Quidditch, which is a problem with me. Also, the Ron and Hermione relationship. If you read the books, you understand the tension that those two had, and you understand that they were eventually going to form together and be a couple. If you see the movies, aside from the 4th movie, they don't really hint at it at all in the whole series. That's why some people actually thought going into this movie that Harry was going to end up with Hermione, even though if you saw the 6th movie, Harry ends up with Ginny. But still, there were people that didn't know that Ron and Hermione were supposed to be together, but they don't build it like that in the movies. If anything, they built Harry and Hermione a little bit better. In 7 Part 1, where they pretty much spend the whole movie together and they dance together when Ron leaves. In the 4th movie, when Hermione hugs Harry before Harry goes out to fight the dragon. You know, they built that up in the third movie when Ron was incapacitated and Harry and Hermione went back in time to fight the Death Eaters with the Patronus Curse. They built up a Harry and Hermione relationship. They didn't really build up a Ron and Hermione relationship. I thought they should have done a better job of that. But otherwise, the books were tremendous and the movies were as great as they could have been. Okay, maybe that's not true, but they were still pretty awesome. So, yeah. ROH Revolution USA. I got these 2 shows in the mail. Shoot. I finished this show, but I promised Honor Hammer I would review it with him, so wait for that. ROH Revolution USA, though, this show is great in my opinion. A little underrated, I think, actually. I think the double main event is awesome. Both matches I thought were great. The main event's not as good as Kings Wolves 2, but it's more enjoyable, if that makes any sense. And the Roderick Strong El Generico, most people know this, I'm not a big fan of Roderick Strong El Generico matches. I think they're overrated. I think they go on too long. I think they're a little too spotty. I did not like their so-called Showdown 2 match as much as everyone did. I did not like their Pick Your Poison match as much as everyone did. And generally, I'm just not a fan of those 2 guys in the ring together. But this match was great. And also, I heard their cage match in Charlotte was very disappointing. So, yeah, I'm just not a fan. But this match was tremendous, I thought. They built to the spots well. The spots meant something. The interference meant something, unlike in TNA. And it just really, really worked. A great match. And the main event is what you'd expect it to be. Great. Chris Roderick Cabana I thought was good, fun. The first 2 matches, Homicide Ciampa and Elgin Ridge, I thought were both very fun, almost good. All Night Express to Briscoes was a really good First Blood match. One of the better First Blood matches I've ever seen. Sanders Robin made a good point. You don't really see a lot of great First Blood matches nowadays. Shelton and Charlie versus Cole and O'Reilly. And Cole and O'Reilly are my favorite team in Ring of Honor, but I thought this match was a little disappointing. I gave it 3 1/4 stars. I thought it was good, but not as good as people say. And Mike Bennett, Grizzly Redwood was not good. So, yeah, Revolution USA, it's got 2 great matches and a lot of fun matches, a lot of pretty good matches. So yeah, definitely gets my 8.0 recommendation. Finally, Money in the Bank. People are talking a lot about Money in the Bank this weekend. As you all know, I can't see the show, at least not live, and at least not order it. I'm going to try to see some of it if I can. People want to know my thoughts. I got some messages about that. Who do you pick to win the Money in the Bank matches? For me, for Raw, I think Del Rio's winning. I don't think anyone else can, really. Anyone else can that makes sense. I mean, if you saw the go-home show for Raw and you saw how they built up Del Rio destroying every Money in the Bank winner, unless they want to swerve us, come on, he has to win. And if Del Rio Cena is still the main event for SummerSlam, come on. For SmackDown, a lot of people are picking Sheamus, but you know, I remember when it was first announced, people were saying it was going to be Sin Cara because that's the guy they're high on. And I like Sheamus, and I've heard people say that because of how the Orton-Christian feud has been booked the past month, Sheamus has to be involved in the match, and therefore he needs to win Money in the Bank. In my opinion, he doesn't need to win Money in the Bank to be involved in the match. He can be involved in the match anyways. And really, they haven't been building Sheamus to be the next guy to challenge Orton after this Christian feud was done. The guy they've been building is Mark Henry, and I'm a Mark Henry fan. I like Mark Henry. I think he's like big, strong man antics, and his just like destroying people and his facials. He's great. His wrestling ability, I think, is underrated. I'm not saying it's good, but I think people say it's horrible, and really it's not that bad. And he gave Kane a match with Kane. I only saw the last half of it, but people who saw the whole match, they said that was like one of Kane's best matches in a long time with Mark Henry. I think his wrestling ability is underrated. I love the guy, and I would love to see a feud with Orton, really. I know people are going to call me psycho for that, but whatever. And they've been building him to fight Christian next, not Sheamus. Sheamus has been a part of this feud, but they've not made him look to the level that they've made Mark Henry look as the next heel. The Christian feud has lost a lot of steam, in my opinion, a lot. I think Christian needs to win the title this Sunday, needs to, in order to continue the feud. My problem with it, though, is the way the stipulation is, they're probably going to do a thing where Sheamus comes in, gives Christian the bro kick, and Orton will have gotten disqualified, and Christian will win the title. And it will make Christian feel like a very undeserving champion. They'll probably do a 3-way or Orton-Christian at SummerSlam. And I don't want that, because that would be terrible, making Christian such an undeserving champion. That would be really, really bad. So what I would do, this is how I would book it. You could have Sheamus come in. I think you have to ever since he tore up the contract. You could have Sheamus come in. He threatens like he's going to get involved in the match. Like Orton sees him come into the match, and Orton immediately comes and spears him down and starts attacking him out of fear that Sheamus might somehow get Orton disqualified. So he starts attacking him and he rolls him out of the ring. And then basically, because he was, let's say he was about to give Christian the RKO, he takes out Sheamus, and then he turns around into an unprettier, and Christian wins. Orton is scared about a possible disqualification that he loses his title, that he does everything to prevent said disqualification. You know, like maybe, or another finish I was thinking was that Orton goes for like an RKO, Christian pushes him, and he runs to the referee, and he's like very apologetic. He's so sorry because he doesn't want the referee to disqualify him, and then he turns around, kill switch, it's over. You can't have Christian win the title by DQ. That would be horrible. What you should do is have Orton be afraid of the stipulation. You still use the stipulation. Don't make Orton, obviously I'm not saying afraid to say that Orton's a pussy, but make Orton realize that the stipulation happens, he loses his title. He's aware of it, he tries to prevent it, and because of that, Christian beats him by normal means. So, yeah, that's how I would do it. Sheamus probably comes in. Orton spears him down out of fear. He was about to hit an RKO, but he changed his mind. He attacks Sheamus. Christian kill switch. It's over. That way, you give Christian the title. You continue the feud, and you don't have Christian become such an undeserving champion. So that's how I would do it. The CM Punk ending, I don't know how. I'm not going to say how I would do it because I have no idea where they're going with this. The Orton Christian feud, I know that what they want to do is continue this feud to SummerSlam. So that's how I would do it. But I have no idea what they want to do with Punk Cena. Do they want to bring Punk back? Do they want to do another freaking 5-month-long angle? Do they want to do Cena, Alberto Del Rio, SummerSlam? I don't know. No one knows. That's why it's interesting. So there's that. Twitter. My Twitter, Bigrat310. I'm also going to recommend 3 guys that I think you should follow on Twitter. Kind of a Twitter plug. One's a wrestler. I don't know about the other 2, but these are going to be my Twitter plugs of the day. I'll try to do as many of them as possible. Guys you should follow on Twitter are Kill Steen Kill, which is the Twitter for Kevin Steen, who is absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I think you should also follow A Sleet 777, which is Sean Carlton Zero's Twitter. He's also funny. I find this to be absolutely hilarious. And if I had to recommend just one more, I would go ahead and give it to... who would I give it to? CM Punk. You're probably all following CM Punk. Probably some guy you're not following. Here, let me check my phone for a really good guy. Follow Nightmare Baller 1. What the hell? Nightmare Baller 1, Kill Steen Kill, and Ace Lead 777. Those are my Twitter plugs for the day. I am done. I am tired. Send me a question for a Q&A down there in the comment section. Go check out ROH Revolution USA. Go check out those guys on Twitter. Go check out the Harry Potter movie if you haven't. Order Money in the Bank. And I'm exhausted. And I'm out. Goodbye.